All right, it's time for us to talk tech. And when you talk tech, there are actually so many angles to look at it from. But this morning, we have the pleasure of having this conversation. You look gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay, so this morning on tech, we are talking about utilizing, ensuring that your children maximize the usage of tech education, that's tech schools. And so we have a certified educator in that space who has worked with several schools and organizations. She has the purpose of helping individuals leverage the smartphone to boost their productivity and profitability as well. So we're talking about monitoring your child's performance while on a tech course. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you so much, Ms.
How you doing?
Very well. I'm very fine. It's good to be on the show again.
It's so good to have you here. Okay, so when we talk about children getting tech education, so many parents are beginning to get enlightened on that fact.
Yeah.
So what exactly, especially for parents who are still, who are yet to see the benefit, what exactly do they need to know regarding getting tech education?
Okay, so for parents, there are so many things they need to know because of the fact that tech is here, and we just need to ensure that our children are being able to, one way or the other, get in line with this tech education. Last week on the show, we talked about this same topic, and I was, sharing that every niche, every sphere of life, every occupation or any profession that you want to become in life, there is a tech education, is a tech skill that is surrounding that niche.
Sure.
If you want to go into education, we have edutech. You want to go into finance, we have fintech. You want to go into health. So they are already, we already have this, we already have tech associated with all this.
Almost everything.
All these professions. So as parents, it is important that we allow our children get equipped with a tech knowledge. And, one way to make this possible is for parents involving when their children is getting a tech knowledge.
Okay.
Sometimes some parents
getting involved when their children, are getting tech knowledge.
Yes. So
Parents are usually so busy.
Yes, parents are usually busy, but then I still always say that where your treasure is, your heart is there.
Heart lies, yeah.
Because if the children realize that mommy is not interested in this knowledge that I'm getting, it sort of pulls the child's urge and the child's how do I explain it? Sort of. Exactly, because when a child knows that I'm learning this tech skill and my mom or my dad is involved, one way or the other, and when I have questions, probably I'm learning a tech like graphic designing, for example, and I have a question to ask, I can always go to my mom. Just even if, I usually tell parents that, thank you, even if it's just the basic knowledge that you have, so that your child knows that this knowledge that I'm getting, one way or the other, my parents are fanning me from behind. It sort of like helps the children know that what they are learning is important. I've been in classes where you tell a child to speak to your mom or ask your mom that, just get more information from your mom, and then the child tells you, Miss Betty, don't even bother to even ask, don't even bother to even send me to my mom because she doesn't even know anything. And it pulls the child's interest. So in as much as parents are very busy, yes, the truth of the matter is we all have 24 hours. There's nobody that has 24.5 hours. But I still always tell parents that at least have, even if it's 0.1% knowledge of that, education that your child is getting into, especially in tech, so that the child can see that you're also interested. And it's not difficult. Once you're able to get your child into a tech knowledge, the facilitator or the organization requests for their curriculum. Just request for their curriculum. Let me see what the child is going to be learning. Let me see the weekly timetable, the schedule. That way, because we are adults, so definitely I believe that at least we should have just a little percentage of that knowledge so that the child can see that mommy is interested, dad is interested, just to balance the...
So I see that you've segued into the monitoring aspect. How do you monitor it?
Okay, so there are various ways to monitor it. Now, it's a tech skill, it's a tech knowledge. One way to monitor is to involve the child in a practice. So your child is learning animation, for example, and the curriculum or the facilitator or the organization or the company says that the child will be able to do this, and do that. If you want to monitor that kind of that knowledge, engage the child in a practice. You may not necessarily know everything, but you could just tell the child, okay, so you're learning stop motion animation from Miss Betty. Can you try to do this? Can you try to animate this flower vase, this remote? Okay. Once the child is able to, have that little practice, that's where you as a parent, you already know that, okay, this child is getting this skill. This child is, undergoing, the knowledge that this child is getting is important, right? That way you're one-way monitoring. Another way is, most parents, when you talk about monitoring, most parents would say they want to try to know what their children is doing on their devices. I don't know if I can go through that channel. So they want to know what their parents is doing, what their children rather is doing on their devices. And just like I shared last week, that before a parent gives their child any device, there are some certain parental controls that as a parent you can put into that device. Okay, so one of the most popular is Google Family Link. So you get your device as a parent, you get your child's device, you install Google Family Link in your device as a parent, you install Google Family Link in your child's device. That way you're able to sync your device with your child's device. So you're able to monitor the sites that they are visiting. You're able to restrict some certain applications because you wouldn't want them to go into some certain places. You're able to restrict it. You're able to know the duration that they spend on this particular application, on this particular device. So that way, ensuring that you're putting them into practice and also using the Google Family Link app, okay, the Google Family Link app to also measure their activities as well.
All right. So it's actually important to monitor whatever your children are doing, especially in the online space. However, for parents who probably do not have that, the capability to afford maybe a device for their child or to even put their child in the tech space, in what ways can these children still benefit from the tech space, pending when their parents can afford it?
Okay. I'm trying to look for the best answer for that. Okay, so they cannot afford a device.
They can't afford a device for their child.
Okay.
So the child probably shares theirs as well. And then, of course, they cannot afford to pay for a course or having the child get proper education to learn a tech skill. What should they do? Okay,
so we already have fantastic courses that, especially when you go on YouTube Kids, we already have ready-made free course that would, help your child understand, especially when you're able to identify the space that the child wants to get into. Okay, we are even recently launched, for us, we are trying to put up a platform where children can be able to get digital skills, okay? So YouTube is there, YouTube Kids is there. We also have applications like Udemy, we have Coursera, but then these kind of applications, you need to ensure that you as a parent as well, you have this.
Yes, use of it. Exactly. You know what, thank you for your time. Bettina Nnamdi Bengo, thank you so much indeed.
Thank you.
All right.